Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am Stephen Radmer, and welcome to a special edition of Stormwatch. During this program, we're going to be highlighting some of the best packages that the students produced right here at MATC. Let's jump right into it and go to Ben Miller's package about photography.
Our program is a 2-year Associate of Applied Sciences in Still Photography. History dates back, I think about 1950s, maybe even 40s when it originally got started. Right now, currently, we're in a major metamorphosis, obviously, because of technology changes in an industry, which 10 years ago, this used to be completely a traditional program. Now we're on the verge of eliminating almost all traditional processes. There's a couple classes at the beginning, fundamental photography and Photo 106, where students still are working in a traditional kind of a workflow. Everything else has switched over to the digital technologies.
I decided to go into photography, and from that, once I graduate, I plan on going into mainly wedding photography, but I'm not against going into something else that I may not really be as knowledgeable yet about or something like that.
Most students come through the program looking to try and find some placement within photography industry as a whole, either as an assistant working for other various independent photographers locally or within the nation as a whole. Or some may want to get a placement in a particular photo studio, a catalog house like a Kohl's or Boston store. This particular studio we're in right now is basically more considered our traditional studio. This class is their basic fundamental lighting class. Here students are learning not only the theory and principles of light as an entity, as a force of creating images, and then they also get to apply it by starting out with continuous light, where they can actually see the effects of light on a subject or on various objects. And then we move through different types of skill set experiments where they work with people doing either portrait lighting, a little bit more complex still life types of situations. In a few weeks, we're going to be going out on location, working with lighting and available light, trying to get that balance between the two. And then we'll be switching over and working with electronic flash.
I can be on location, I could be in a studio, so I'm working in several different situations. I'm not just in one place at one time, and not only that, but I can also use my creative ability in making the photographs.
Today's still photographer can't rely solely on being a still photographer. The days of print will never really go away, in my opinion, but there's more and more web content, more and more video usage, from delivering it to, look what, technology, iPads and iPhones and all these devices need content. So a photographer that has diversified skills, that can create a little video content, that can do still photography, that can do a little bit of web design, has a little bit better advantage going into the marketplace. And we're seeing that trying to actually go back to the days. I mean, I'm a student of this school, and in 1980, that was part of the curriculum. You took a class or several classes in printing. You took several classes in cinematography. It was kind of forced upon you, because even then, I mean, people knew that you can't live in a bubble. You have to be able to be diversified in your skills and your knowledges of what you're going to be working with, or the types of people you're going to be working with in industry, because we don't know what we're going to be doing 5 years from now or 10 years from now.
Awesome job, Ben. It looks like the photography program has their hands full. Now, switching gears, let's take a look at AJ's package. He highlights a cartoonist who's a student right here at MATC.
I'm James Frame. I'm an animator, illustrator, cartoonist, artist. Yeah, that's me. That's what I do. I created Momo in 1983. Momo was first published in '84 in the Alton Telegraph. I'm from Alton, Illinois, and that was our Journal Sentinel. And the name Momo came from my father. My dad named Momo. It was the first cat that our family ever had, so naturally my dad named it. And Momo stands for Missouri Monster. And I have no idea where he got that from. I don't know where he came up with the name Momo, but that's where the name came from. But I was really into Garfield when I was little, and I would draw Garfield all the time. And I was sitting in the kitchen. I remember I was sitting in the kitchen and I had just finished watching a Garfield special on TV, and I was like, I want to make my own cartoon cat. So I was trying to come up with a cat based off Momo, and my initial sketches and stuff, they looked like Garfield too much. So, and then I drew a Christmas card for my mom that had Momo in it, sneaking across the living room floor and climbing up into the Christmas tree and, you know, ripping it to shreds, the way cats like to do. Yeah, I basically pull my inspiration from my life's experiences. A lot of the cartoons that I have drawn actually came from experiences that I've been through. And there's one where Momo was running, he was late for going out with his friends, and he was running down the sidewalk around the back of his house, and as he ran through this chain link fence, it caught the belt loop on his pants and ripped the entire butt out of his pants. So that was actually the last cartoon I finished, and that actually happened to me, and I didn't even exaggerate it. It was an entire exposed butt cheek. I came across this photographer who was creating 3D images, and I just thought, oh, that's pretty neat. So I sat down one night and checked out some YouTube tutorials, and then I created my first 3D cartoon. So I took it to Bob Hansen down at MATC Time, and he liked it, and he was like, wow, this is really cool. I wonder if there's a way that, you know, we can put it in the paper. An entire issue to 3D Momo cartoons, and I've been doing a lot of 3D ever since then. As far as marketing possibilities, I have all sorts of ideas. I came up with something called the GTO Racer with real muscle car sounds. It's a remote control 68 GTO like the one Momo drives in the cartoon. Stuffed animals, action figures, comic books, posters, movies, the works. Just everything you can possibly think of. Stickers, you know. Well, ultimately, I want to start producing some animated cartoons, and I'm going to continue publishing the illustrated cartoons as well. My biggest goal, like for syndication, when I know that I've achieved my life's work, is a Macy's Day Parade float. That's really what I want. I want to get a Macy's Day Parade float so that on Thanksgiving everybody will see him floating down the street.
And if you want more information on Momo the cat, check out MATC Times. Now, who's hungry? I know I am. Check out Aaron Bradley's package on cooking.
The MATC Cuisine Restaurant is part of our associate degree program in culinary arts here at MATC. It is a real-world environment, a restaurant that's open to the public, that's staffed by our students in the dining room and the kitchen.
Our cuisine restaurant is actually one of the last courses in the culinary program, 4th semester course. It allows the students to take everything that they've learned in the 2 years of the program and wrap that up into running a restaurant. The expectation is that what they do in the restaurant is something that they would actually do in the industry.
The restaurant here has been in this location probably about 40 years, and we've been advocating for a couple of years that we need to have a more prominent presence on the campus.
Our current restaurant is on the 6th floor of the main building, and unfortunately it's buried within the confines of MATC, so folks that come from the outside, which are a lot of our guests, really need to look around for the restaurant. So there's a customer aspect to it, but there's also an instructional aspect to it where the students really don't have the kind of turnover that you would have in a typical restaurant because we don't have the high traffic volume.
So we are going to be moving down to the 1st floor of this main building. We're going to have a street level location that faces 6th Street.
The restaurant will be located on the 6th Street side of MATC between State and Highland. Folks will be able to walk in the main entrance right on 6th Street, and the restaurant will be right there.
We'll have some signage out there too, which will be great because people will know that we're here and they'll be able to patronize us for lunch.
The other thing that it's going to do for us is give us a state-of-the-art restaurant that students working here will be able to experience when they go to industry. So they're learning basically what they would need to learn in industry in the new state-of-the-art restaurant.
We'll be able to seat about 80 people at a time, which is little bit bigger than what we have right now. It'll be a little bit more up to date because with a 40-year-old facility here, things have become a little bit dated. And so we'll have a little bit better equipment. Of course, we'll have a brand new dining room that will be very attractive. And it'll give students some great experience working in a nice restaurant.
What makes this a little bit more interesting is what we've tried to do is bring the students to the customers, meaning to say there will be some portals when you walk through the hall that you'll be able to look through the windows and see what's going on in the kitchen. There'll be some flat screens in the dining room that will have cameras in the kitchen so you'll be able to see the students preparing your work. And much of what people like today in the restaurant is the kitchen isn't walled off anymore. It used to be this place that was very secluded and hidden. What we're trying to do, because it's an instructional lab, is bring that out to the customers so they can experience the instructional piece of what we're doing.
So our new facility that we're opening up on the first floor, we're right now in the construction phase, and we're shooting for possible completion by May or so. And we're going to see, we may possibly run a summer session and try to open up in the summer. We will definitely be open by the fall though. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be a great facility. We're really hoping that people will be able to come in and enjoy it.
Well, I know you guys have been watching student operations all day long, and I'm sure you've seen your fair share of puppets. Mike Vernick takes a look behind the scenes on what makes a puppet.
Most students consider spring break a period of time to relax. A very special combination of students likes to think differently.
Today we've brought in puppets from a puppeteering class at UWM.
Really, it's my students in the UWM puppet class will take the puppet class, they'll design puppets with an end result in mind.
Those end results can range from an owl to a polka princess and even a troll.
This is my puppet, Bucky. This is my hand and rod puppet, so this is the more advanced puppet that I had to build.
I know you have a creeper stash, but...
Using the facilities at Milwaukee Public Television, both MATC and UWM students take on the opportunity to be creative.
Our class, our student operations group, is using the puppets for interstitials, for promotions, and also filming a class project.
Tim Decker holds hope for the future that this will be a long-term collaboration.
The thing is, we're making quality educational programming. This puppet polka may seem like a lot of fun, and it is, but my students have learned how to manufacture puppets, how to make them, how to bring personality, and how to get into character.
When it's all said and done, the collaboration between the schools could meet unlimited potential for educational opportunities. For Panther Vision, I'm Mike Vernick.
Each week, Stormwatch gives us a creative package to create, of course. Take a look at the next 4 packages, starting with Ben Miller's package on Foursquare.
Little ham and eggs coming at you. We spin the spoon. Game on.
Well, I'm Brian. We started this crazy phenomenon, the Underground Foursquare League, back in geez, I think it's about 96 now, in a little quiet urban setting known as New York. Been on A since about 96 now. Yeah, since about the day it started, really. Yeah, it's just been basically the same 4 of us traveling around the world, you know, playing Foursquare, trying to pick up some other players. Nobody was really getting into it. We talked to ESPN, Ocho for a little while, and they kind of laughed at us, and they laughed right in our face.
All right, the rules.
No black magic. No cherry bombs. No chicken feet. No skip-de-doos. No skip-de-don'ts. Yeah, duh. Other than that, there are no rules. Game!
This is the regulation ball. We've actually been using this ball since the day we started. This is the 96 original. This time it's a train. I picked this out in 96 because, well, my dad actually.
I kind of felt bad for the guy. I think he had some real daddy issues. It wasn't good. So I agreed to join, and really the rest is history.
No!
I didn't really find Foursquare. Foursquare sort of found me. It's always kind of just been who I am, and it's what I do. So I live for, I die for, I bleed for. And, you know, so it's been good to me.
Cops!
I found Foursquare and they really turned my life around. You know, just forget it.
Our next video comes from student producer Mike Vernick, entitled, What is Fun?
Everywhere you look, people are having fun.
But how do I have fun?
Good question, Timmy. Let's find out together.
That's not my name. Where's that voice coming from anyway?
Take a look at Bobby here. He's enjoying the newest book from the author all the kids love. But Bobby also likes to live his life on the extreme side of things.
That's not my name.
You'll never ask what there's to do on a Saturday night again.
Oh, this paint's gonna dry so hard.
In a few short hours, the paint will dry and Bobby will be a much happier little boy for it.
Gee, that doesn't look like much fun at all.
I can't understand the gibberish coming out of your mouth, Timmy.
That's not my name.
Sure it is. Let's check in with our friend Tommy. Here's Tommy having the time of his life in one of our many local parks.
That's not my name.
No one cares! In one short week, these blades of grass will become too much fun to handle.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Doesn't that look like fun?
No, that looks awful. Really, really awful.
No one cares what you think, Timmy.
That's not my name.
I don't care.
You know, none of these activities look fun to do. They're just easy ways to pass the time. I'd much rather watch a pot of water come to a boil.
You don't say. Here we have our good friend Billy. When Billy's not out playing stickball, he enjoys a riveting session of Watch the Water Boil.
Don't call me Billy. Well, what the hell is stickball?
Some people choose to add to the experience by introducing sodium chloride to the water mixture, otherwise known as a fun-enhancing supplement.
Did you just offer me drugs or something?
The only drug I peddle is fun. Victory at last. That'll show those Nazi punks. Buy war bonds to support your troops. Do you get it now, Timmy?
No, not at all.
These were just 3 of the thousands of ways you can have fun and not be a communist. America, land of the free, home of the fun.
Everyone here at Stormwatch hope you enjoyed the Buckwheat Zydeco concert, but Morgan Kathusman takes a behind-the-scenes look of what it takes to put on such a show.
Springtime at MATC means excitement about warmer weather, graduation, and the prospect of entering the workforce. But for TV students, it means the rite of passage called Student Operations Day.
Student Ops Day is to put everything you've learned as a student together
to air your programs live on Channel 36. Pretty much a unique opportunity that Marquette and UWM don't get the option of doing.
For almost 40 years, students have been shooting, writing, and producing programs that air on Milwaukee Public Television. But 6 years ago, students were presented with a new challenge: shooting a live remote.
A remote, you take all the elements you have in the studio, your basic setup you have there, and you try to bring that into a field-like setting and make it feel the same as what it is in studio.
Kind of like a traveling studio, and then we set up all the cameras and attach them and the audio to the truck and are able to kind of bring the studio to the outside world.
With us, we have a 40-foot TV production truck that has a maximum of 8 cameras that we put in there right now.
When students cover a live event with the remote truck, it's a lot more than just showing up for class. Students build cameras, set up audio, and even construct a flying arm for a camera called the jib.
When you go out to a remote, you now have to figure out how to do everything from scratch, basically. Camera placements, problems of wiring, dealing with the staff outside.
You're interacting with real world people. It's basically a real, this isn't fake, it was done for real. So you're dealing with elements that you're actually going to deal with in the real world.
This does a really good job of preparing us for the professional world because this is real hands-on experience. There are other places, but where you go and you get more of like a education that is spoken at you, you don't get enough hands-on work, and this is really good for really people who are kinetic learners, people who learn with their hands, learn by doing.
Well, I think it makes this a unique program. I mean, very few programs in the country have this ability to have their students work with a remote truck, full studio productions, go out on remotes.
In the past, the Student Remote Project has covered acts like OK Go and Gaelic Storm. But this year, it's all about legendary musician Buckwheat Zydeco live at Turner Hall.
This is Buckwheat Zydeco, all the way from the Bayou, Southwest Louisiana. So I want you to pay attention, watch me and the rest of Student Operation May 12 on channel 36.1.
Last but not least, let's take a look at James Gale's package. It's called Spanglish. Take a look.
I'm bored.
Yeah, me too.
Spanglish?
Spanglish?
Spanglish!
Spanglish has been in my life for 8 years now, and even though it's been 8 years since the film's release, I'm still learning something every time I watch Spanglish.
This movie is so muy bueno. It's probably my numero uno film of the decada. It amazes me how muy bueno Adam Sandler is at dramatic acting while still remaining muy comico.
For me, Spanglish resonates throughout my life, day in and day out, whether I'm out at my job or I run into a problem and get frustrated with my surroundings. I think to myself, what would Adam Sandler do? How would Téa Leoni get out of this situation?
I think what Téa Leoni did to Adam Sandler makes her look like an itchy bee, and I used to think she was en fuego. When Maria jumped out of that car while it was moving, I was just like, whoa girl, what are you doing? This car is moving.
I think everybody knows where they were when Spanglish was initially released. I was in line at the mall. I went and saw Spanglish in its first showing. I like to eat popcorn when I watch Spanglish because it reminds me of the first time I saw it in the movie theater, and I had popcorn and a Diet Pepsi. When I finish watching Spanglish on DVD, I go right into the extra features. It has everything I wanted to know about the making of the movie and what makes the movie so great.
I think I'll be speaking Spanglish mucho más from now on. Thanks, Spanglish. Spanglish!
Thank you, Adam Sandler. Thank you, Taya Leone. And thank you, James L. Brooks, for perfect cinema.
I am so mucho gracias for James Mel Brooks for making such a muy bueno movie.
My favorite part of the movie is where they speak Spanglish.
Well, that's about all the time I have for tonight. Enjoy the rest of student operations and have a good night.